everybody, this is Shayna with Robinson Repurposing. I'm going to be showing you in this video how I made this Splatter Screen Pumpkin and this cute Splatter Screen Pumpkin. So anyway, stay tuned for the video. I'm going to be showing you these two cutie pies.
Okay, so you're going to need 3 splatter screens, of course, which you guys have probably already seen in my other video. 3 splatter screens, and then you're going to bend the handles and get the 2 screens situated how you like them. And then you're going to add floral wire and attach that. I just was bending those handles. I like to put them right where they're going to be. That way I can make sure it's going to be straight and flat. And then I took Dollar Tree floral wire, so this was all from Dollar Tree so far. Get my floral wire, cut and then wrapped through there, and then I pull it really tight and then twist it up really good. I do that at the top one time and I do it at the bottom one time. Okay, so there you have the 2 attached. It stands up really nice and it's sturdy. Then you take your 3rd screen and you get 3 pieces of floral wire cut, and you do 1 through the top up there where I'm getting ready to do it, and then you take 2 at the bottom, and you'll see where I put them in a minute. Okay, so it's all attached nice and tight, and then I take it outside and spray paint it after it's all attached. And then I got my paintbrush ready by taking my scissors and cutting off the top. I always do this to my paintbrushes. I just like them better that way. And then these are called button plugs. Those were 2 different sizes because that's all my hardware currently had, but you can order these off Amazon in a way bigger pack and for cheaper. Like my local hardware obviously was pricey, but I wanted to get these to get the craft filmed. Anyway, I take the smaller ones and I place them on the inner part of the pumpkin where I wanted them. I got them all situated and I hot glued them all on there. If you wanted these to be even more permanent of a hold, you could definitely use E6000, but the hot glue holds them on very well, so that's all I did. And then I took the bigger button plugs and I hot glued them onto the outer portion of the pumpkin. And this is one of the only things that differs from the first version I made last year, the white one that I made. It didn't have 2 different sizes, but like I said, these were all I could find right now quickly. Okay, and then I took the color Toasted Marshmallow and Antique White, and I put Toasted Marshmallow on first. That part you can see that I almost started to paint the pumpkin without the button plugs on, but then I decided to hot glue them and then paint them. So anyway, hot glue the button plugs on, then paint your pumpkin. And the reason I took this out to spray paint it first was because if you don't have a little bit of paint on that, this acrylic paint is very hard to get to stick to these pumpkins. That was Cotton by Dixie Belle Paint. It's just a pure white because I wasn't liking how this Toasted Marshmallow was coming out, because another difference from last year's pumpkin is that I used the color Ivory by Waverly Chalk Paint. I didn't have any of that on hand this year though, and I just wanted to make this video like I said, so I used these 2 colors, kind of blended them together, and it still achieved a similar like ivory shade that the actual ivory color was last year of the pumpkins I painted. And here you'll see I just took my blow dryer and blow dried the paint in between layers because I like to just get this all done at once, so I blow dry in between all the layers. It took me about 2-3 layers of paint to get this the way I wanted it. I just kept kind of blending in the white with the Toasted Marshmallow, and I did use that antique white here and there on it also. And then I did decide to paint the back, especially the bottoms of the handles, because you can see those through the pumpkin when you set it up, so definitely painted it down there. And then just to kind of complete the look and get the edges, I painted the back. And then more blow drying, and then onto brown oxide. I used this to dry brush along the handle, but then I decided that it wasn't dark enough, so I got out my burnt umber, which is basically like a blackish brown color, and then I dry brushed that along the handle, because like I did on my one last year, I had the handle painted a brown color. Then I just went through and dry brushed it across the buttons so that they looked a little bit like distressed also. So yeah, I just kept blending the brown and the white till I got it how I wanted it. Okay, then my favorite part, on to making a bow. I've made the bows like this in a lot of my little previous videos. I just call it a refabbed bow because that's where I learned it. Anyway, I just do the whole cut them and then crisscross them, tie them together. Very, very simple, very straightforward. My bow on my next pumpkin is a little more complicated, but this bow, super simple. Okay, and then little tip, when I go to tie this around, I keep the excess on the back of the ribbon. That way I can take it and tie it to the handle. I just think that's so handy, and it goes so perfectly right there in that spot. And then I also wanted to mention that this bow is obviously different than last year's bow. Last year's bow had ribbon on it, lace ribbon on it, so it's just so pretty. But I didn't have any lace ribbon this year, so I just did the best I could to make it similar. And I think it's pretty cute as well. And there you have it, this cute little Splatter Screen Pumpkin. And if I were you, I would take this like a clear glaze and spray it, because the paint does tend to chip off on these metal screens. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Please be kind. And on to the next pumpkin. Here we go. So the first thing I did on this pumpkin was bust out the black handles. I actually did that on accident, and then I decided that was pretty cool. So I ended up doing that to all the handles. So on this Splatter Screen Pumpkin, I did not go outside and spray paint it first. I just decided to chalk paint it use chalk paint because chalk paint sticks better than the acrylic paint. This color was Cotton by Dixie Belle. It's just a pure white. So it took me probably like 4, I don't know, maybe even 5 coats, because it's real thin coats, and you're painting metal, so it just takes a while, and you gotta let it dry in between. But I blow dried, of course, so because I'm impatient. And then I also paint the back, of course, because on the edges there you really want to get all that metal covered so it doesn't look like it's a metal screen from the Dollar Tree. You know, painting the whole thing makes it look a little more tasteful. But yeah, painted the back. Okay, and then we're going to make this bow. So basically what I end up doing here is making 2 loops with the buffalo check ribbon. About the same size, but bigger than the cotton ribbon. So yeah, I make 2 loops with the black and white ribbon, and then I make 2 loops with the cotton ribbon, but then I only end up using 1 loop of the cotton ribbon. So I'm just gonna let this part play out, and you can kind of watch what I do, because it's kind of confusing because I changed my mind midway through. I was just gonna do like a refab style bow, but I wanted this bow to have like tails on it. So anyway, I'll just let this play and you can watch what I did here, because like I said, it's kind of confusing. If this bores you, I understand, but this is only the best way I can do to explain this bow, so just keep watching. So like I said, here's where I just thought I was going to make like a refabbed bow and tie this together and add it on there, but then I stopped and I changed my mind because I knew I wanted tails. So I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Okay, so here I cut the tail for the cotton ribbon, and then I twist it to make it look like a pretty little bow, and I tie it together. The cotton ribbon, by the way, is from Michael's, and then the buffalo check ribbon is from Dollar Tree. And so is that little lace ribbon. It's from Dollar Tree, of course. Okay, so here I finally decided that this is how I wanted it. I wanted the 1 cotton piece with the 2 fluffy buffalo parts, and I added a tail to this part. This is how crafting goes for me, by the way. Like, I'm just always like changing things, and this is how my mind works. So it's very hard to do these videos because, like I said, it's just always like, you know, trial and error type of thing. So I'm sorry. But if you craft, you know, that's how it goes. It's just kind of a trial and error thing all the time. And if you don't like it, you can just always go back in and change it. That's part of the fun. Okay, so I got the bow all fluffed up, tied them together. Then I used the excess again to tie it around the handle like I did on the first pumpkin, which I think is just so handy. So for this part, I decided to add some cotton and some greenery. I would definitely recommend adding the cotton and greenery before you add the bow, but I had already tied the bow on and I hot glued parts of it down. So there was really no taking it off and then attaching this, so I just went with it. And then I'm gonna fast forward through most of this, but all I did was floral wire all of the cotton and all of the greenery to the back of this pumpkin. I just did this right here. I twisted it real tight, attached it and adjusted it. You know how those things go. And then the greenery toward the end here, I just hot glued it on. But like I said, I'm not gonna make you bored with this whole part. I'm just gonna speed it up and cut the boring parts out. And I cut the greenery off of a long strand of greenery that I had. I just use it for random crafts. But anyway, I cut that off, put it in there. I hot glued it. I think I attached it with floral wire in like one place, so it was good to go. Okay, and there you have it. A beautiful, simple little Splatter Screen Pumpkin. Very farmhousey and just so super cute. Let me know in the comments if you have made a Splatter Screen Pumpkin, or if you've made one like this, or just anything. Let me know. Thank you all. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, or share this video with your friends who you think might like it. Send it to anybody, like I said, who would love these pumpkins. Thank you all for watching.
I am a hot mess. I'm always making something and I always have paint on my shirt, so I'm busy.